Your father was concertmaster of the orchestra where you grew up, and your mother's a musicologist. Your instrument was piano.
But I was never that good as Nikolay.
But they say that you were enchanted with conducting. What does enchanted with conducting mean?
I think as I was maybe 4 or even less, or maybe a little more, I don't know exactly, I don't remember, but my parents took me to a concert, to Philharmonic, and I visited almost every concert, and even a rehearsal, because my both parents, they went to Philharmonic to work, and they didn't want to let me home alone, so they brought me, and I was sitting under the chairs, something like that, and I was just looking how it goes. And this man who was standing here, he paralyzed me because he was, in my eyes and ears, this was someone who created the most beautiful sound I ever heard. And I realized that if I want to become something, I want to become this man. And since then, I was really trying to be conductor as early as possible.
When you look back at that moment, was that conductor anybody special, or just was the opportunity to make music with an orchestra special?
Not someone particularly, but just this kind of magic. But now I understand that it actually has very less to do with magic. It's just a profession, and it's just a lot of work and sometimes fun, but a lot of work all the time. And you have to be, you have to create your own manual therapy to make music.
Like your own language.
Yes, yes.
With your hands.
Yes.
Now your family left Russia when you were 18. When we talked, you said it was very difficult for your father to, start again, and you moved to Austria. For you, was it easy? Was it difficult? Was it the chance of your lifetime?
For me, the possibility to take advantage of knowing another culture was very, very, very good, and also to study in Vienna, which had extremely huge tradition of conducting, was for me very, very good. And I was 18, so for me it was much more easier as for my father to get into the new culture. And for me it was really, I was very lucky.
Did you have an opportunity at all to conduct when you were a youngster?
My first conducting experience was still in Russia with a wind orchestra of our school, of a music school. I transposed one piano piece to a wind orchestra, and I put every musician my own score, and I heard what I did. No, but after that in Austria I conducted amateur orchestra and chorus. I learned very much from singing, because the singing is the most natural for me, for my opinion, musical instrument. So because you make music with your own body, really, and to conduct the chorus is really very, very, you can learn a lot from them. And so step by step, I'm here.
But you still continued with the piano. You finished the academy on piano and then started conducting professionally.
Yes.
Now, you're known mostly as a opera conductor. What's the difference between an opera conductor and a symphony orchestra conductor? Is it?
In the way of conducting, maybe it's less different, but in the way of thinking, it's a really big difference, because you have to imagine in the opera, you are a part of the team. You have a stage director, you have a light designer, you have a costume designer, you have a big, a lot of people on stage, chorus, singers, sometimes you have orchestra sounding behind the stage, and certainly orchestra in the pit. And this is very difficult technically to put it all together, but somehow it's less difficult because you are part of it. If you stay on the concert podium and you have to conduct a symphony, you have to imagine that you are, in one person, you are everything. You have to tell the story. You have to create, so to say, light, create scene. You are the stage director, costume designer, light engineer in one person, if you do a symphony. And this makes this much more responsible. You are only one who is responsible for everything, and this is another difference. It's maybe less technically, but conceptually it's very difficult.
You have actually a very big repertoire of opera. Is your symphonic repertoire the same size? Do you feel comfortable with that?
Certainly, I'm still, I think, I would like to enlarge my symphonic repertoire and also my opera repertoire. You know, one life is very short to do everything, so you have to put some accents. You cannot do everything. You cannot go to restaurant and eat everything up and down. But certainly sometimes you have to try something new and step by step make it more wide repertoire.
In 2 years' time, you're starting as general music director of the Opera House in Munich, which it's probably the biggest opera house in Germany. How many productions will you do a year? And when have you started already preparing the work there?
Yes, I started already with planning, and I will do 2 productions every year myself and conduct a repertoire also. So the opera which are already in the repertoire.
And a few years ago, I think when you were 30, you did your first ring cycle of Wagner, and also in 3 years' time, at the same time as you start in Munich, you'll be in Bayreuth. How long does it take to prepare that material?
It's very long. It's around 18 hours of music, 18 hours of music, and you prepared maybe 2 or 3 years. It's very, very big book.
Are we going to see you again in Israel?
I hope, yes, with pleasure.
You know, this visit you did a lot of Tchaikovsky. Tonight's concert is Tchaikovsky, Borodin, and Glinka, which is pretty much, I mean, that's a pretty good start of the history of Russian music. Do you have other favorites? Are Russians your favorite? Where do you tend to go?
One of my most passion is Gustav Mahler. So I admire him as a conductor, as a leader of the opera house, and his symphonies, I think, one of the most important what we have in classical music. And I would love to conduct Mahler in Israel. It would be for me really a very, very biggest challenge, I think.
Well, I hope we get the chance to perform with you.
Thank you.
Gentlemen, we have a concert this evening. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It was a great pleasure speaking to you.